day. It's late in the afternoon and I really had to drag my ass out the door today. I missed all the warmest part of the day. It was +4. Right now it's about 0. Wind is calm though. So figured I better knock out a walk anyways, as much as I didn't want to. Today I was fighting the crowds at Costco. I knew I'd have to, but it's still that difficult. The Costco by our house on Winterburn Road is a nightmare to get in and out of, so drove over there, saw that it was a zoo, and decided to go to the one in St. Albert. And that was a smart choice. May not have saved any time, but it certainly saved a lot of aggravation, because I was in there, able to find a parking spot, got in, wandered aimlessly around doing my shopping, and I was probably the bother to other people because of my aimless wandering, but whatever. When it was time to be done, walked right up to a checkout, checked out, and I was gone. So, the one in my area just has too many people at it. Pretty quiet around the neighborhood today. Technically it's still a working day for a lot of people, and they haven't come home from work yet. Makes it that much more pleasurable. I'm not tripping over people walking their dogs, but still slipping on ice everywhere. Apparently I'm coming through here about the same time as I did the other day. The sun is shining against those houses. Kind of following the same path. Might try and hit the golf course trails just to get some distance in. I'm trying out a new app that my sister-in-law Sue suggested. Shout out to Sue, I was told I had to do that. It's not like she's getting paid for it or anything, but we'll see if it's tracking my steps better than what Google is. And hopefully I'm not surprised that Google was overestimating my walk time or distance. I hope not. But if it does truly say how far I'm walking, this new app, well, this new app to me, it's called Runkeeper. Free app. We'll see how it does. You know, I walk these trails a lot and come across a lot of fucking dog shit around here. You know, if you don't have responsible pet ownership, you should be found out and then forced to eat that shit. Duck inspection. Still hanging in there. A lady just passed me with her dog, and the dog listened to her and stayed by her side and didn't bother anybody, and she had her poop bags in her hand. Hopefully she's using them. That's the kind of dog owner you want to see. Not these ones that just let their animals run their lives and shit everywhere. Okay, I checked Google and I checked that app, and they're both saying I'm tracking at the same distance, 2.89 kilometers right now. So can't fault Google on this walk so far. So I'm back to the Lewis Estates, is it Lewis Green's golf course, and this is the path that I hadn't taken yet that I said I was going to try, and we'll see where it takes us. Starting to lose light already. to be expected. But can you tell that the days are getting longer? I didn't think so. But come January, be surprised. Daylight will be, in 2 or 3 weeks, could be nearly a half hour later before it's sunset. Someone's got a nice wood burning fire going somewhere. It's a nice smell. See, people have been doing some skiing through here. This trail took me east and then north. Whereas if I'd gone the other way, it would have taken me west and then south towards the clubhouse. So it should get me to the very north tip of the golf course. This would be a good retirement job. Just plowing out paths after a snowfall. There's a coyote friend down there. I don't know if you can see him. He's out there. Let's see which way he decides to go. He got a good glimpse of me and went off into the trees, so still timid around people, which is a good sign. Well, can't see him. He took off. I could tell he was down there though, because the magpie sure like to chirp at coyotes. And as soon as he went down there, it got the magpies all excited. I guess a magpie is good for something after all, other than squawking and getting into people's garbages. My neighbor in the first house I owned, back in the day, he said the city would pay kids to come in and bring magpie tails for money to control the population. Now, for some weird reason, there's some kind of endangered species or protected species. God only knows why. But maybe they're good scavengers and clean up the gut piles of what the bigger animals leave behind. I don't know. But it's 7 in the morning and they're squawking at nothing. I'd rather see those tails go into the city for money. Clouds look like they're on fire. So, the early part of my walk, I was on that side of the golf course. So this path is basically just making a loop. I'm not sure if this is a tee box or a green. Okay, that answered my question right there. It is a green. I'm not sure what hole this is though. I've only golfed like 3 times in my life, and I think that was enough for me. I was so horrible at it. I just don't seem to have the coordination for it, and the swing just seems so unnatural to me. Of course, I was using borrowed clubs and plunked right in the middle of a tournament. But I mean, a tournament is better because they only have to use like 2 of your drives and 2 of your putts and that type of thing. So but it just wasn't for me. It looks appealing enough, nice summer sunny morning and you're out on the golf course. Even though there's a city noise in the background, you're kind of in this nice huge park. But The actual golfing part of it just is not my thing. Okay, I did actually look up the price of one of these duplexes in a community, and $750,000, which is what I think I said before. I mean, they do have walkout basements, but for that price, I don't think the basement is finished. And they are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, without the finished basement. And they are also have a loft, so that area way up there is a loft area. It's not a bedroom, but it could be used as a office or library or whatever your heart desires. Plus a maintenance fee, which I think was $500 and something, which probably gets your snow shoveling of the community done. I don't know about your driveway, and some amount of grass cutting too, I guess. But I mean, you do have this, you back onto the golf course, so that does provide some advantage. But the one I looked at that was for sale online did not back onto the golf course. It backed onto their neighbor. So I guess to each their own, whatever they think the value of their money is going to buy them, but still seems kind of pricey to me. Okay, this part of the trail was a loop, and it took me past the 5th tee, and I'm not sure where I am now. Like, if I walk that way, it might take me a little bit further east to where I started that trail. Let's do that. And if it looks like I'm repeating myself as far as the trail's concerned, I might double back. We'll see. Okay, it was just a little bypass trail. The way I came was from the 7th tee. So I'm going to head back that way. So I am doubling back on this trail. And it'll take me to start taking me towards the west part of the golf course, I guess. Sure is nice in here. I'm glad this is so close to my house. It's nice to be able to walk to something instead of having to drive 20 kilometers. This is definitely preferable. And it's still kind of foresty in here, which is nice. That is the 7th tee up there, apparently. All that means is I'm not familiar with the golf course, but I can read signs. And apparently it's about a 240-yard shot. I did not see, to me that sounds like a par 3 or par 4, but probably a par 4. But what do I know? Again, golf 3 times in my life. So you gotta love a guy who makes uneducated statements like that. Magpies keep yapping at something in there. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes peeled. Unless they're yapping at me. Maybe I'm their problem and not some coyote or something. Okay, for further information, the 7th hole would be a dogleg right. And there's the green over there with a water hazard. Maybe that is a solid par 4. Okay, here's the intersection. That's where I came from before I headed down to the east. That takes you into the neighborhood. I'm going to carry on west through the golf course. And I'll probably get to the tunnel and hop the fence and take the street. I don't think I'm up to walking all the way to the clubhouse at this point. That's the way I usually go. I notice there's another path over there. Let's take that one. Starts at the 4th tee, this little split off. Still heading west though, but just a little bit more into the middle of the golf course instead of along those houses over there. So somehow on this walk I've become the poop whisperer, because I saw more poop on the path here and I happened to see that it had berries in it. So that's probably a sure sign that it's more a wild animal than somebody's dog. So I will call that out, but a lot of what I've seen has just been lazy dog ownership. Don't get me wrong, I like dogs as long as they're trained and looked after. And I don't know if I've said it before, but my favorite dog is somebody else's dog. One that I don't have to look after. Knees are a little tired today. And so are my glutes in my buttock. I guess maybe doing some of that climbing yesterday wore them out a bit, but I'm glad I'm out here today. Just didn't let myself stiffen up. Like I said before, my body just tells me to keep on moving. Doesn't matter what you got going on. I wonder how many golf balls people get going towards their house. Especially if there's yahoos out there golfing like me that would always shank it off one direction or another. That's the trail I normally came from. Now we're up against Evergreens Drive, heading down to the tunnel. Walking gingerly. I didn't wear my boots or use my pole today. Somebody asked me why I called this murder tunnel. Not that there's been an actual murder in here, but it just seems like a good place for one. And they don't turn the lights on for some reason. And it is dark enough in the middle that somebody could be just standing there. Weird echo in here too. Gee, big surprise in a tunnel. Over the fence I went. Got smart from the last time when I tried to squeeze through the bars instead of just climbing over. See, sometimes I learn. Oh, I might have to go door knocking and find out who's cooking that deep fried deliciousness I smell. Well, I walked away the daylight. So let's see what the apps tell me I did for steps. Okay, Google said I did 6.5 kilometers, and the running app said I did 6.8 kilometers. So pretty close, but Google did rob me of some steps, I guess. But a good walk. Took about nearly an hour and a half, so my pace is a little bit slower, but I'm still getting her done though. Until the next one.